Arcade1up Street Fighter 2 has finally sold out. Has Basic Fun already failed? And the Raiden Nova Blast pre-order details. Are you shocked by that sticker? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in retro gaming and home arcade, episode 207. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me on this Sunday of what I must say has been one of the better Sundays as far as football is concerned in a very long time. A lot of great games. I watched two very good games today. The Bengals taking on the Bills, and then, of course, Chicago taking on the Packers. Both very good games. One was more of a shootout. One ended up being a shootout. Congratulations to the Bills. Congratulations to the Packers. Great games, great teams. Man, what a day of football. The best thing about this is that my favorite team had absolutely no chance of losing because they already lost. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. The other way, one of the ways that I can kind of drown my sorrows when my team does lose is to drink. And I've heard that's the best thing. And there's absolutely no side effects. This Sunday is no different. Tonight we are drinking Maker's Mark French Oak. This is my favorite blend of the old Maker's Mark. Smooth, delicious, and it's definitely the way to go for a reasonable price. Everybody, thank you so much for making it here and hanging out with me. Congratulations on surviving another week on this planet. Cheers, everybody. Let me know right now in the live chat. And later on, if you're watching this video later, in the comment section, what are you drinking tonight? How do you kick back and relax on your Sunday? Do you just prepare? Do you just dread Monday morning and you just deal with that in some other way besides alcohol? Let me know about that. I want to hear all about it. Another thing we do on the show every single week, besides just have a drink and talk about football, wins, losses, is we have a poll question. That's right, and this week is no different. Over in the live chat, you're going to see the live poll question. This is the reason why you got to watch live, kids. Watching on the replay is good, and I appreciate all of you. But if you have a chance, check me out live. It's it could be disappointing. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, let's go over to the question. The question has been up for a while. I like when I set up the channel or set up the show for the Sunday show. I like putting the poll questions up a little bit earlier because it gives people an opportunity to jump in and comment, and maybe they wouldn't have before. So we get a lot more votes, and it's good. It gives us kind of it helps me sort of check the temperature of the community and what everybody's feeling. This week, I got a question for you. How would you grade the Basic Fun Arcade Classics product launch? So everything they've launched so far under the Arcade Classics banner. So I'm talking about the Ultras and the Countercades, and I guess if you want to talk about those handhelds, that's fine, but we're going to be focused basically on the Ultras and the Countercades. What do you think? How do you feel? How would you grade it? Okay, you're the teacher. Stamp that paper with your grade. You got 4 options. It's going to be A, which means all the expectations you had have been exceeded. They did better than you could have, better than you imagined. So that's your first one, A. C is you're right dead in the middle. It's like 50% good and it's like 50% bad, right? So just as fair as possible. They've had some goods, they've had some bads, but they all kind of even out. It's fine. Totally average. That's your second option. Your third option is an F. None of your expectations were met. You just didn't like it. You had these high hopes and they just failed to meet your expectations. You're going to give it an F. I gave a fourth option. I always want to include this because I keep getting people asking me this question. So here's your fourth option, and it is, I don't care. I'm not interested. Those people need to have an opportunity to vote, and I want to know just exactly where everybody's at. So you got 3 grades, A, C, or F, and then you have a I don't care. I'm not interested. I think those people need to get a chance to vote. So boom, there you go. Let me know about that right now. We got 64 votes. Good guys, good going, guys. It's been up for about 5 hours now, so that's a pretty good sample size. Let's continue to keep the voting going throughout the show. I want everybody to have a chance to vote. Let your voice be heard in the live chat right now. Speaking of the live chat, every single week we highlight the first 10 comments. Are they the best 10 comments? Maybe, perhaps. But we know one thing. They are the first 10. Let's go ahead and say hi real quick. Scroll all the way up here. We got Nova Sonic 23 is coming in hot with the number one, the first place. Congratulations, buddy. You did it. Hi, Fox. Today we remember a tragic event that happened 84 years ago, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. 2,403 lives lost. Never forget. Thank you for your service. My grandfather was in the Navy, and my son is in the Navy. So it holds a special place in my heart. It has a little bit more impact. I was in the Army, but, somebody was in the Navy. Damn. That was a cataclysmic event that probably changed the course of history when you really think about it. That drug us into World War II. And, that was a rough one. So absolutely taking a moment, everybody, if you appreciate this country for what it is, even if you don't know anybody that have served, this is a moment to kind of recognize a sucker punch to our country and how we reacted, for better or for worse. Thank you so much for your comment, buddy, and appreciate interjecting some reality in the situation, because it's something we got to keep on our hearts and minds and never want to forget. Coming in the number 2 spot is Jason. Little alien, always out there modding like a mofo. Good afternoon. I hope you've been having a terrific weekend, Fox. Catch you later. I absolutely have, buddy, and I hope you have been doing the same. Kevin Clausen coming in with the membership gifting and whatnot. Thank you so much for Kevin, just seriously, continuing to support the channel. It means a great deal for me, buddy, every single week. If I don't see you, it's weird. It's like there's something wrong. And that means that, I've become accustomed to you being here. Whether you gift memberships or not, buddy, always appreciate you being here, and appreciate everybody who makes the effort to come and hang out with me every Sunday night. It means a great deal, guys. I appreciate it. Coming in the number 3 spot is David Demings. What's going on, buddy? David Demings, 1916. If you're that old, congratulations. You look great. 110. Happy Sunday, Fox. Your boys at Unico asking over $1,700 for a Raiden cab right before Christmas. Doesn't seem very smart, bro. We're going to talk about that in excruciating detail tonight. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. And Kevin coming back. You're going to go ahead and get it. The number 4 spot. Good afternoon, Mr. Fox. I know every stream you like to talk sports, but do you think we can, I don't know, maybe talk about arcades this time? You're right. I think tonight we should change everything up and stop all this sports talk and whatnot and just stick to the arcades. I think that could be a formula that could work for me. I'm going to give that a shot. Coming in number 5 spot, of course, is the lovely A2D2. Always great to see you, ma'am. Happy Sunday to you as well. Thank you so much for being here. AD Arcade Gaming coming in the number 6 spot. Hi. Great job on last week's show. Hope all is well. Yeah, listen, I had a great time. I love having Mode on. Whenever sometimes I kind of beg and plead, but he'll come out and he'll hang out on my show with me, and it's always a good time. I appreciate his perspective, and the comment section was blowing up. So everybody, if you get a chance, if you see Moat going live, or you see Moat putting up a video, stop by and say hi. Give him a thumbs up and say, hey, man, stay. We like hearing from you. We like hearing from you. We like having that voice out there. Encourage him. Encourage him just like you encourage me. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much again for hanging out. Molar Medic coming in the number 7 spot. What's going on, buddy? Wow, Sunday already? Another great stream ahead. Well, we'll try. Yeah, Sundays are sneaking up on us, especially when you consider we only have a couple more until the end of the year. We're about to about to wave bye-bye to 2025. It's nuts. It's just crazy. So yeah. Good to see you, man, as always. Frank D coming in the number 8 spot. I'm having barbecue chicken thighs for dinner. Well, always big on the thighs. I'm talking about chicken, okay? That's what I'm talking about. David G is coming in the number 9 spot. Always good to see you, my friend. I almost made the top 10. You did. You actually did. We had Kevin commenting a couple times and dropping a membership. You are the 9th comment. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. See, Kevin's keeping you on track, buddy. You're good. No need to cry. Chin up, fella. Doing good. And of course, there we go. Number 10, keeping me honest. Wish I was a rock star, brother. You and me both, because evidently they got it all going on. Number 10, Fox. Can't wait for the show. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We got video game Vegas. VGV is also all up in the house. Mr. Clutch coming in clutch. We got JR. We got Dan Z. Thank you so much for being here. Good to see you, man. We got Bob is working on, finally, the man is going to get around to working on that basement. He's been waiting so long, had that surgery. He's back on track. Freaking, let's just take a second and say, go, Bob. Kill it, baby. And when I'm in the area, let me know. I'll bring my tools. We'll work on it together for sure. We got the B Me is also in the house. JJ is here. We got Merrill work. Yeah. Or good man. Good man. Always good to see you, man. John on the Fritz. Hopefully he's got that figured out. Some of the wiring crossed, getting it back right. Thank you so much for being here. Go Pack. Yeah, you know what? That was a damn good game. And I'm a Cowboys fan, and I was loving every second of that. And, yeah, I wasn't mad at the Packers for winning, even though they tied us earlier this year. We got Doritos Reese's, maybe the best combination of all time as far as snack food is concerned. That's incredible. Dorito Reese's. 3 Atari games isn't going to cut it for $500. You're absolutely right. We got Dane Bramage all up in here. What's going on, man? We got Night Shadow 2007. Always good to see you, man. We got Connell. I catch the stream later. You catch it whenever you want to, buddy. I'm just glad you're catching it. I appreciate it. We got S Shrek 681. What up, Finger Red number 1? How's everyone's Sunday? It's going pretty good, buddy. The Real Zoom. We got Gramps Arcade. We got Sean L. all up in the house. We got Sir the Sasega. Good to see you. We got Saved by Zero. MSU Rich is all up in the house. Israel Gaming. Excited to see what you got going on your channel, brother. Excited to see that G.I. Joe cab coming together. Who else we got? We got LOL God. it's a good one, God. You got me. We got Prince Vinny up at house. How you doing? Odd, but cool. Kind of like me. I get it. Just like most of us here. Provolone Joey James, who is mildly annoyed at some things. Go Broncos. They're pretty impressive this year. Damn. We got Ardith Bay. Yeah, Ardith Bay. 4165. Great uncle was at Pearl Harbor and survived being strafed while on a destroyer. Never forget when men were men and women were women. And it was a hell of a time. I can't imagine the world that we live in versus the world they lived in. Yeah. So if we can take a second and just think about it. Absolutely. Burnt Oranges. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Mike, everybody's talking about you. Everybody loves you. Everybody. Say hi to Mike. He's here. He's in the live chat. Mike Hawkhurts is also here, coming in with the $5 super chat. And the first one, well on the way to second pour. That's right. This week, it's no different. 10 super chats of absolutely any denomination. You're going to unlock second pour. Instead of just suffering with one drink, we'll have a second. And we'll extend the show. We'll talk about at least another half hour. Basically, whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about how much the Cowboys suck, I will entertain that. But Molar Medic is not talking about that right now. He said, nice review on the New Wave Toys TMNT cab. I have it too. Great cab. Here's a second pour salute. Send to the pit. You're going to do it. It wasn't New Wave Toys. It was actually Numbskull. But I get what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're laying down. And unfortunately, now that I've picked you up, I got to lay you down. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's also a place called the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
He'll be fine. He'll walk that off. It's no problem. It's no problem at all. Everybody else, listen real quick. Go ahead and jump up in the poll. Jump on the pole. Jump in the pole. Climb up the pole. Man, there's a poll question in the chat. I want you to go ahead. Make sure you take the time to vote. Think about it. If you're not exactly sure what I'm talking about or what items were actually introduced in this first wave of basic fun goodness, we're going to talk about that later on tonight. We're going to talk about some of the mistakes that they made that they really shouldn't have made. All that and much more coming on. We got everybody. I think I've said hi to everybody. So grab your drink, vote in the poll, and let's go ahead and slide into the first topic. I played the wrong video the first time, but I fixed it with playing the second video. So that's how you do it. Okay, so Raiden details have finally come out. And then Raiden Nova Blast. Okay, the thing I admittedly have been hyping for a very, long because it was a combination of two of my favorite things. I love candy cabs, and I love Raiden, specifically Raiden 2. Raiden DX is really good. It's like an enhanced version of Raiden 2, but Raiden 2 is definitely the game that I just love. I got a memory of me and my brother playing it. The music, just the graphics, to me, it just kind of just hit everything. It's not too much bullet hell going on, but it's just enough, just the right amount. They being Unico, have finally announced all the details and, more importantly, that price. But before we get into the price, I just want to take a second. Listen, if you've been following Unico like I have for a while, they've been struggling in certain areas. One has been sort of presentation. When you go to the website, you expect to be sort of wowed at this point. You expect a certain level, of polish. And unfortunately, I got to say, it just hasn't been there for a very long time. But we got to take a second. We got to take a second and just be happy that they've actually upgraded this in such a way that I think is pretty awesome. I'm gonna share my screen right now. Let's check it out. Let's head on over. Here it is. So here's the website, which, oh, look at that guy. What the hell? What's he doing there? Let's go scroll up. The website is much improved, guys. Much improved. You remember the early days of the Unico website? There was a lot of it was rough. But if you click on over now, you can go to the pre-order now. This is the Raiden cabinet. And right off the bat, first off, before we even talk about the price, which we will get into extreme detail about that, I just want to say, I don't know why they have Raiden as the marquee and Raiden 2 as a side art. I still don't know why. I've been talking to him about that. I think for me, you gotta make that. I want that to be cohesive. So either this is just make that Raiden on the side. I mean, they should match, right? I think at this point, just make Raiden be the side art and call it a day. Everything else is looking pretty cool. But go down, scrolling down through the website, you can see that they are really all in on this one. So obviously you got the 7 games. This is the final games list. We talked about this a little while back, but you got Raiden, you got Raiden 2, you got Raiden Fighters, you got Raiden DX. It's kind of out of order because it should be Raiden 2, Raiden DX, then Raiden Fighters 2, and then Raiden Fighters Jet. They have added Dark Mist on here. I don't know why. I would have loved to have seen Phase Viper 1, Viper Phase. What the hell am I talking about? Now that I say it, Viper Phase 1. Yeah, Viper Phase 1 is what I would have rather have seen, because that's a Cebu game. It's very much in line with everything else that if you like Raiden, if you like those shmups, that's exactly what you would expect from them. Let me go ahead and minimize myself here. Boom. There we go. That looks better. So the website is much improved. It clearly, and this is what I love about what Unico is finally doing, you have a clear vision of what the hell you're getting. So scroll down. Here's the 7 games. They're all built in. I shared that video at one of my shorts a while back. But here is the theme selection, the game selection screen. You're going to have game saves, which is really nice, save points within these games. But bullet hell games like this, these shmups, you're going to really need that. I love how they actually call out the Nova Blast Raiden UI. And it's something that I've been complaining about other companies not doing. Show me the UI. I want everything. Everybody needs to see this just with as much detail as possible, especially if you're expecting us to spend, what you're asking us to spend. So that's good. Scrolling on down, it just more splash screens of all the goodness of stop. I don't want to sign up for nothing yet. And more just sort of showing off the cabinet itself. And this is the 6-button light. Here's another thing, showing you the difference between the standard Nova Blast. Why does this only have 6 buttons and not the 8? I'm not exactly sure. We're going to talk about some of these issues. I think things that I think that are issues in just a second. But showing you that control panel, showing you the layout. Everything is Sanwa, 100%. All the buttons, the sticks, these are not knockoffs in any way. They are 100% Sanwa controls. That's very good. Obviously, you're going to have the 26-inch monitor. This is the Phoenix 26-inch monitor, the same one that comes in the standard Nova Blast, except they ship this thing with a vertical orientation, which is something you can do right now. If you have a Nova Blast, you can take off the bezel, take out the screen, rotate it, and then you're good to go. But they're going to ship it to you in the vertical orientation, and it's going to have a sort of brand specific bezel. You got the Unico, you got the red and the blue on the left and the right. We'll talk about my small issue with that in just a second. But other than that, just calling out every single possible detail, showing you the art itself. Once again, I don't know why. You got Raiden as the marquee and Raiden 2 as a side art. It's to me, it's a simple thing. Just get rid of the Raiden 2 logo and you're good. I'm talking to him, guys. I'm talking to him. I'm trying to get him on board. I think that would make so much more sense, because it adds a little bit of confusion there, especially when you look at the artwork. The silver plane is clearly from the Raiden 1 artwork. So I don't know why they have Raiden 2 on there. So that's a small thing. And then, of course, the control panel itself, calling out everything, showing you the height again, overall size. If you've seen a Nova Blast in person, you know exactly what you're getting. It's the same thing with a few different modifications, a few different changes. Your arcade room is now open. Okay, so enough of that. So that's great. The pre-orders went live Saturday morning. I think it was 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. It wasn't 9 a.m. Eastern Standard, but it went live. And finally, I mean, I have heard numbers going back and forth. I was excited to kind of see, okay, all right, here we go. Everything, there's no more speculation. What are we actually going to be expected to pay for this thing? I knew there was going to be a little bit of a cost increase because of one, the licensing, and one, the fact that they're going to have some sort of a physical board in there that's going to have the games on it that really can't be hacked. So what's that going to look like? What's the total going to be? Well, the total is going to be, like we saw, $13.99. So $1,400. What does that really mean? At the end of the day, what does that really mean? Well, like the commenter said in the beginning of the show, I went through the process. This is what it would cost me to buy this right now and ship it to my house. And there we go. $1,758. So you got the $13.99 price point, which at some point is actually going to go back up to $1,400. Now, I talked to Unico, and I talked to the U.S. representative in Unico, and he's going to fight like hell to maintain the $13.99 price point. They want to maintain that for sure. But that's a lot of money. So $1,400 right off the bat. Then you have $260 for shipping. This is not something you're going to buy on Amazon with free shipping. And of course, taxes. So what will you be asked to expect or asked to pay? $1,758. And that's just the reality of the situation. And listen, I love this company. I love what they're doing. I love this form factor, but I have made it abundantly clear. Abundantly clear. Where am I at? I got to hit this button here. Let me change this here. I don't know why it's doing that. It keeps doing this. There we go. You know my name. I don't need to put that on there. I have made it abundantly clear that I think that is just too much. It's too much. When you're asking, $300 more for this cabinet, and that's really what it boils down to. And I know licensing, and I know this, whatever. Let's just get down to the brass tacks. What are we asking our customers, to spend? That's what they should be saying to themselves, right? Okay, here we are. We're going to put a product out there, and it's cool, but how much are we really asking them to pay? And in the real world, you and I are going to look at this. We're going to say, I love the black powder coating. That looks super cool. You're going to include some games. Oh, that's kind of neat. That's kind of cool. What's the price point? $300 more. That's a hit. Guys, listen, that's a tough hill to climb. It just is. At the end of the day, it just is. And you got to ask yourself, is there $300 worth of value in this cabinet? Apples to apples. If you compare this to another combo, which is exactly what this, well, not the combo. This is the one without the stools, right? So just a machine with the bar top and the base, $300 more. Is there enough value to justify the $300? Now, if you're just looking at the parts, and if you're just looking at the game, I don't know that there is. Now, I would expect an increase of let's say $200, right? I would expect $150 to $200 because there's licensing now. That's a totally different ball game. I know you got to pay for this. I know that these cabinets actually don't sell that many units. So think about it. So whatever they paid for over time, they're going to have to bundle that into the cost of the machines. If you are going to be like Arcade1up and get this thing in Walmart and Best Buy and all this stuff, you're going to be able to sell thousands of units. You can take whatever you paid for licensing and you can stretch it out over 3,000 units, let's say. But I think this is a much smaller, unit selling machine, right? If they're not going to sell that many, they're probably looking at numbers of around, 5 to 800, maybe 5 to 700 units. That's probably all they're going to sell, or all they're anticipating they're going to sell of this particular item. It's kind of a niche thing. It is a higher price point. So what do they have to do? Whatever they paid for that license, they've got to stretch that out over 500 instead of Arcade1up doing it over 3,000. That's a tall order. Also, they're not going to be able to kind of rebrand this thing and make another one like you see with Mortal Kombat on Arcade1up. They'll make one that's a peasant version, then they'll make one with a riser, then they'll make one that's a deluxe, so they could definitely milk that franchise and get that money out. I don't think that Unico is going to be able to do that. So they're packing it all into one product run. And man, I think that's tough. Listen, I like this company. You can call me a shill for them all day long. That's fine. I like what they do, but I also am living in reality. And this price point is a shock for anybody who's been on the fence already. If you've been on the fence and you've been looking at, $1,100, $1,099, that's where you've been at. You've been kind of like, man, I don't know. I kind of like it, but I've been watching Fox's videos and seeing what you can do with the thing, and that's pretty cool. Let me wait for that black one because I like the way that looks. And I think that does fit in with an American style cabinet or American style arcade if you're trying to put one together at home. I like the subdued black. I love the black, red, and blue combination, and I am also a sucker for the game. But there's sticker shock. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and call out other companies for charging, big prices and not say the same thing for Unico. I think it is what it is. Now, I understand that we have had conversations back and forth. I do understand that they're not making a shit ton of money. Crap ton of money on every unit. I get it. They're not going to sell that many units, as far as like a wide launch, I get it. They're not in retail spaces. I get it. But the reality is, when as a consumer, I'm looking at either one, and if I've been on the fence, like, well, I'm going to wait because $1,100 is a lot for that white one, but that black one's going to come out. It's going to have Raiden. That's going to be pretty slick. What's that going to be when there's a $300 increase? I mean, listen, I'm willing to overlook the fact maybe I like the black version better than the white, but I'm like, well, for $300, I'll just take the white one. I know there's no games on it, but dude, for $300, I'll just put something on the white one. I'll just get the white one, and maybe they're going to see an uptick in sales of the white cabinet. Now, do I want one? Yes. Are they going to send me one? No. No. I got the one that's as far as I'm going to go, and I don't expect to get one, and that's fine. Am I going to buy one with my hard-earned money? I still want one. Yes, it's expensive, but honestly, right? I mean, I can't do anything this month. I have family to focus on, right? And that's what we're kind of thinking of other people at this point. So I know the price. I'm going to save up for it. I would like to have it. I want to get one. I most likely will get one, but it's going to take some time. And unfortunately, you got to make some concessions. You're going to I'm going to have to sell this. And if I do that over there, and if I get rid of this, then maybe. But, and so maybe they'll still have my sale. But dude, when you put that many barriers in front of your customers, it's never a good thing. So if you can avoid that, you absolutely should. So if you're seeing a sticker shock, I am also seeing the same sticker shock. It is what it is. Now, do I like the Nova Blast? Yes. Do I think it's worth the $1,000? Yes. I think that it is. I absolutely think that it is worth $1,000. And I know there's shipping and all that, and that ends up being about $1,400. But when you're talking about $1,700, you have to decide what it is you want to do. Where's your budget? Now, if a couple $100 is no big deal, and that is a factor. Some people, once they hit a threshold, say, listen, if I go above 1,000, what's a couple $100 more bucks, right? Whatever, go ahead and get it. I understand that concept too, but I don't think it's most people. I think most people are like, damn, do I really want to spend that much money? Now, here's the question, $300. And let's say the majority of that is licensing fees. What license would be worth $300? Okay, so instead of Raiden, instead of Cebu, if this was a Capcom cabinet, would you spend the $300? If this was a Midway cabinet, Mortal Kombat and all that, would you spend an extra $300? If it was insert your favorite brand here, with the exception of Nintendo, I think if it was Nintendo, everybody would lose their minds and probably pay it. But I'm going to take Nintendo off the table. But any other company, any other gaming brand that they could possibly get a license for, what would you think? What would you think? I want to know. I want to know what you're thinking. And stop being poor, guys. That's right. We should stop all the poorness. It's a sexy cab. And I think that it's something that you definitely, this is not some $500 cab you're just going to put on a credit card and not think about it, right? Like, well, I'll pay that off eventually. I can pay that off in 4 payments. I'm fine. This is $700. This is $1,700. It's just a little bit different for sure. Expensive? Yes. Yes, it is. My Unico MVSX had free shipping, and it's a trailer cab, a taller cab that comes with 50 games. Holy crap. These are the realities, right? You as the consumer are going to make these comparisons. I understand from the company why they're doing what they're doing. Well, we got licensing fees and all that. I get it. And that's real world costs. I understand. But as a consumer, all I'm looking at is dollars and cents. All I'm looking at on your website is, should I get the white one for $1,100 or should I get the black one for $14? That's what people are saying. That's what people are doing. That's the math they're doing. How about Nova? No. Unfortunately, I think you're right. $1,750 for a white. No, it's a black box, buddy. Let me just tell you. For a black box, that's not going to fly here. Very little nostalgia for that. And burnt oranges raises a very good point. And this is one of the barriers that the original Nova Blast had. Candy cabs are a Japanese sort of thing. It's something that's going to be kind of a deep cut for arcade owners. I have an original Sega Astro City. It cost $2,500. I was excited enough about it to get it. So I paid the money. I paid $2,500 to get it. The Nova Blast was sort of aimed at people like me who loved that form factor and wanted something similar for much less. And if you're talking about the original Nova Blast, it's much less. But that crowd, that customer base is pretty small. I think there's a bigger customer base. There's a bigger fan base for the upright American style cabinet. So that was already kind of a big hill to climb, right? That was an obstacle they had to overcome, is the whole candy cab form factor. Not everybody was digging it. You know, Japanese people, Japanese fans of Japanese arcades, fans of old arcades. I say old, I mean, this is 90s, but fans of those arcades. That's something that I think that people would be, those people would be into. But that's not the majority. So if you take the same thing and you paint it black and you put some pretty cool games on it, but admittedly, those aren't the games that speak to everybody. I love them. I mean, I do. This cab is almost like this cabinet was made for me. I dig it 100%. And I already have an Astro City. I would love to have a black version sitting next to it in the vertical orientation. But I'm not everybody. I'm just not. Even though I should be. I should totally be. The Raiden Nova Blast at $500, $600 with free shipping all day long. Not for me at $1,800. I just think that it's just a reality of the situation. I would love it if they could get all the money. I want these companies, all these companies to succeed. I know it may not seem like that when I'm talking about some of them, but I want all these companies to succeed. And I think the way you do that is you meet customer expectation, and that's going to come in the form of the form factor itself, build quality. Also, price is going to be a major thing. You have to meet the customer expectation 100%. You just absolutely have to. You absolutely have to. And Messiah coming in with a $2 super chat, brother. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. You can't fool me. Hashtag Team. We said that we wouldn't discuss this. Temu, it has its place. And maybe, perhaps maybe, I partake. Maybe.
Let's go.
KO! Wolverine wins!
Rookie.
We did. We had a great, well, at least I did. I had a great day. I'm having a great day. I'm glad you're here again, asking us if we had a great day. Good to see you as always. See, we got the replying to Sir Sega. Thanks for that info. The changes, that changes my perspective a bit, but glad you got a quality product. I missed the other part of that conversation. Oh, one thing. Okay, one thing you have to remember: the Nova Blast is built for commercial use as well as home use. Full metal cab. I think the U2 and U4 are priced fair. I agree. I think at $1,100, it's a cabinet that's going to do a lot as far as give you that gaming, that arcade gaming experience. It is a full metal cab. It ships fully assembled. I think at $1,100, I think you're in really good shape. But I think that the customer that was on the fence at 1,100 is not going to be swayed when you hit them with a $1,400 price tag. I just don't think that they are. Now, I want this to be successful for several different reasons. Okay. I like the Raiden cab, but I think that's short-sighted. If I just wanted this particular cab to be successful, who cares, right? I'm going to go buy mine and everything's going to be fine. I want this to be successful because, like we always said with all these other arcade companies, if this one is successful, they'll make the thing that we want. I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know that they're going to make up something crazy. But what I think that we will see is if we can see this be successful, we can see other versions of the very same cab. We could see maybe red ones with certain games on it. We could see blue ones with certain games on it. We could see different versions of this. But I think that this Raiden cabinet is very crucial in a couple different ways. First, you're going to find the ceiling of your price point. You're going to find out really quick if this is the most people are willing to pay, or if this is a price that people are not willing to pay. So that's what we're going to find out, right? At that, when they go into the checkout and they look at 1758, they say, "Damn, I can't do that," or "I can't." We're going to find out, right? And two, it's going to really kind of tell them what the appetite of American consumers are for this form factor. Was it a one and done? Let's just do the one Nova Blast and we don't care about anything else, you know? It's going to tell them a couple different things if this doesn't do well. And I think it's just fair. I think you need to speak with your wallet. If it's too much, don't buy it. If you like it, jump on it, but buy responsibly. I think after Christmas, after the dust settles, maybe you look at this thing and maybe you jump in and maybe you buy it, but do some kind of a payment plan or something. Don't just jump in. I feel really awkward advising anybody to spend $1,700 on really anything, you know, because it's not my money. So I want to be very conservative about that. I do plan to get one, but like you, I'm not doing anything until after Christmas, and it's going to take some time, and money's going to have to be set aside, you know, that kind of stuff. Because when we're talking about $1,700, it's just not the same as $500. And when you talk about that type of money and you put yourself in that category, well, then the conversation changes. But at the end of the day, is there even an audience for this? Only time will tell. Basic Fun failed. Basic Fun failures. Basic Fun is over. You're basically done. Basic Fun is basically done. Is that the reality? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. So let's just talk about the state of play right now, where they are as of right now, now that the dust has totally settled and we can get into the actual real prices, the real cost of these machines. This is where we're at. $100 coupons are gone. Side deals and side hustles and weird stuff, affiliate links, all gone. Here's where we are today. It is the 7th of December. So we are, weeks away from Christmas, and here are the prices of these cabinets. $600 for the Ultra. $600 right now. $250 for the countercades. Now, it's not all, I guess it is kind of all bad. The one thing that was reasonably priced is now no longer available. This was a $450 cab. This was probably the one that everybody wanted as far as, I think, the general audience. Star Wars is still a massive brand. It can sell basically anything. It could sell anything and everything to everybody. And at $450, I even said it was a good price. People got mad at me, and I get it. I understand why you're mad. I wasn't telling you to buy it. I'm just saying that in this, for compared to what they were charging and everything else at $600, $450 was a good price for a brand new product. I think that it was. TN monitor was a problem, all that, but I get it. So the one thing that was sub 500 is no longer available. Everything else is 600 or 250. I'm not even going to count the handhelds. Here's where we're at. So now we have to take the temperature. Now we have to figure it out. Has Basic Fun failed? Why do I say that? At a price point at 600, where does your mind go? You've been in this home arcade community for years at this point, just like I have. When somebody says $600, what are you thinking? I'll give you a second as I grab my drink and sit, snootily and pretend like I don't know what you're talking about. Let me know right now in the chat. I'll take the first comment. $600. If you're asked to pay $600, what are you expecting for $600? I'll take the first comment, whoever it is. Somebody's talking about $450. I'll talk about this for a second. $450 was a good price if it had a good monitor. Exactly. For $600, guys, what are you expecting? What are you expecting to get? In the chat, somebody say something. It would be forgivable to cut corners on that 3-course if they had priced them properly. Okay, here we go. $600. I'm expecting, and this nail right on the head. At $600, I'm expecting the highest tier Arcade1up. Remember, whenever we were talking about this in the very beginning of Basic Fun's announcement of their products, I said they have a they're in a good position because expectations have already been established. So that they know exactly where they need to be to hit the mark. To hit it on the head or miss the nail completely. $299 for Messiah. What's going on, buddy? $450 is too high. $449 is more my speed. That penny makes all the difference. All the difference in the world. A penny saved is a penny earned, and I wonder if pennies are going to be worth more now that they quit making them. We have another great comment here. Are you a rapper? Just curious. Okay, $600. What are you expecting? I have not said anything yet. This is what I am rappy is expecting. 19-inch monitor. Lit coin doors. Imitation arcade controls. Pac-Man XL. XL, 19-inch monitor, bigger physical size. And of course, go down the list. Molded coin door, right? I expect Fast and Furious level of features at 600. 400 to 500 is the zone. I ask about 600 because that's what they're going into a well-established community, a well-established customer base, and hitting you with. And they're just not thinking clearly. At $600, which is the asking price of all their Ultras, not even the freaking Supreme. We'll talk about that in a second. The Ultras are $600 with the exception of Star Wars, which is freaking sold out. You have an established expectation at $600 price point. 19-inch monitors, XL size cabinets, or if it's a deluxe, it's a specialty cabinet. It's like a Time Crisis, it's something with Send and Light guns, it's Terminator 2. It's something like that, At $600, it's not your standard joystick and buttons cabinet. It's just not. And I beat this drum. Other people have beat this drum. At that price point, we already have an expectation. And they've totally missed it. And they've also run headlong into the meat grinder of absolutely avoidable mistakes. And let's talk about it. I mean, we have been through this for years, guys, years at this point, and there's just no excuse for it. So mistakes repeated. I'm going to go down this list of things that Basic Fun has done that we have years of data showing that are absolute mistakes because they've already been done by Arcade1up. Mistake number one, the altered game ROM. Okay? The altered game ROM has never been a success story for Arcade1up. You had to change the roster on NFL Blitz. You had to take out the late hits on NFL Blitz. You had to change some of the emulation when it came to T2. You had emulation problems with the Simpsons cab, specifically Simpsons Bowling. There wasn't enough processing power to make that run properly. Every time you change something on some of these ROMs, and not disclose that right away, you're going to immediately piss off people they want this cabinet because they want to preserve that original game. as it was intended to be played in its original form. So right off the bat, they did that. Right off the bat, they did it with WrestleFest. An altered game ROM, changed the code because of licensing or what have you. It took the outrage of the community for them to actually say that in the product description. So right off the bat, you're making a mistake, and that sucks. And that's obviously totally avoidable. They could have, all they had to do was look at what happened with Arcade1up, and they could have avoided that mistake altogether. Number 2 is no deck protector. I know this could be something that people think is just simple, but it's really not. If you remember back in the day, from the very beginning, we were all in the trenches, and this was an incredibly big deal because the thing you rest your hands on, especially with fighting games, would rub off with those first and second generation cabinets from Arcade1up, and it was pathetic. It was sad, and your cabinet immediately looked like garbage. What did they do? They included, eventually, in the third generation, plastic deck protectors, like all original arcade cabinets had from back in the day, and it absolutely preserved the deck art, the control panel overlay, as it should, and everything was fine. Once again, this is a bonehead basic freaking thing. This was simple. This is Gen 1 type of mistake that they could have absolutely prevented if they had just been paying attention. Number 3 is no coin doors. No coin doors, either a decal or a molded coin door, something to represent the coin door. They could have done a decal with a couple LED lights or something. You know, they could have tried to do a take on it. I know the molded coin doors aren't cheap, but at this point, at this stage of the game, we just expect it. You know, partner with our good friends, you know, Retro 530. He makes a great molded coin door, you know. Find out who the hell Arcade1up bought theirs from and go with that. But it's all part of the arcade experience, important enough to us to where we had to have it, and we demanded it, and we eventually got the decal and then the molded coin door. So right off the bat, this is just something that they should have never, ever even hesitated. They should have absolutely followed through with. Number 4, for God's sakes, man, the TN monitor. The TN monitor on your marquee flagship, maybe not the flagship, maybe not the first cabinet out the gate, that would be WrestleFest. But Centipede and Star Wars had the TN monitors, and it's just totally unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. That is the dumbest thing. I mean, of all the mistakes, that could be the most egregious. The most basic, the most foundational thing, the thing we're going to be staring at all the time, has got to be of the highest quality. And to do that right off the bat is just, it's egregious. It is absolutely egregious. Let's continue. No lit marquee on the countercades. This may be a little thing to most people, and I get it. Not everybody is even a fan of the countercades. But at this point, at this stage of the game, you saw how people were reacting whenever our countercades, our little bitty countercades, lost a feature. Okay. But when it lost a feature and the price dropped substantially, about 170, 160, we could sort of kind of understand it, but it was a real bummer because a lit marquee going all the way back to the 3/4 scale Gen 1 cabinets. Probably the first thing people were complaining about is, man, it would really be cool. It would really be cool if we could have a lit marquee above. You know, even though we had a single mono speaker in the control panel, even though the controls weren't that great, even though the monitors back in that day weren't the best, that lit marquee was something that we asked for immediately. And then we saw it eventually on the countercades from Arcade1up. But at 250, it should not even have been a conversation. And then the number 1, the last one, it is, I put it on the last, but I'm just rounding everything out. It's the price to feature ratio. The most egregious. Price to feature ratio. At this stage of the game, if you're going to ask everybody to pay $400, we could overlook a few things. But even then, you still got to figure out compromise machines, right? At $400, what am I willing to sacrifice? Okay, maybe the coin doors aren't a big freaking deal, whatever. Okay, who cares? A deck protector, well, maybe I can let that slide. But I don't want some wooden marquee, and I don't want a TN monitor, right? There could have been some sort of calculation. No, You went for the highest tier price on Arcade1ups, basically. I mean, think about it. At $5.99, you're damn near top tier. There was only one tier above that, which was $6.99, which was first generation Terminator 2, first generation Ridge Racer, and then eventually it got topped by what was it? Time Crisis. It's $7.49, I think. Eventually they all came down eventually, but initially they were pretty high. $600. You should not have made any of these mistakes. None of this was acceptable, in my opinion, for $600. And if you would have got the price features ratio correct, you would have known that. It's just that simple, guys. Especially if you're talking about a supreme tier coming later next year, a higher tier. So what in the holy hell is that going to cost? And are you just going to give us the features that you should have gave us, with the Ultras? I think so. So I'm not making anything up. I'm not elaborating. I'm not even extrapolating anything. I'm not stretching the truth at all. I'm just looking at dollars and cents and numbers and where we have been and where we are now. And it's $600, in my personal opinion. They're nowhere close. They're not close at all. I mean, at $499, think about it. At $499, does this make sense? At $499 with what they're giving us, not that. Boom, boom. There we go. At $499, would this even make sense? Would the price features ratio even work out with no lit coin door and no control panel overlay or deck protector? Without that, would that price feature ratio work out to you? Is the math mathing? I don't think so. I don't understand why they can't charge $100 more and just fix all that stuff. Josh, but even at $700, is that fair? Is that fair when you consider what Arcade1up is doing now for $500, for $100 less? What's the difference? I think it's a big difference. I think you're getting everything. You're getting all this stuff fixed, at $100 less. And that's what blows my mind. Available now. They're probably titles you already have, but available now, they're $100 less and you're getting more. Basic Fun had a great opportunity. All they had to do was walk in and meet expectations. Number one, the price to feature ratio should have been correct. They know exactly what people expect at certain price points. So if they couldn't hit whatever, then they had to drop the price down, and they had to, they just had to do it. They had to lower some of those features, I guess. But you're telling me that $100 more than a deluxe, you can't give us a deluxe experience? It's just not going to work, guys. We all have these expectations. We all expect Arcade1up XL, and we're just not getting it. Not even close. So the question I asked at the top, have they failed? Have they failed? Well, are they bankrupt? No, they just got started. So no, not to that extreme. But have they failed? They've stumbled out of the gate for sure. Is it all over? I don't think it's over yet, but tell me on this list what you're excited about buying. What are you excited about buying? What are you just tripping over yourselves to afford after Christmas? What on this list are you saying, well, I really wanted that for myself, but I'm going to wait until after Christmas and I'm buying that? Is it Centipede? Is it the WrestleFest? I'm talking about the Ultras here. Is it any of the countercades? Or are you just waiting for this guy to come back at $449? Let me know. Because my feeling is that the people that wanted one of these cabinets got it when it was on sale for $100 less. And I don't think too many people beyond that are going to jump on this at this price. I don't think anybody's jonesing for that. I think everybody, in my opinion, is probably waiting for the Supreme. Out of all the Basic Fun products you have on the screen, the one I'm most excited to buy, another... Yes, Another product entirely. No one will be able to charge $3.99 going forward. Walmart Peasant Cab is the last gasp we will see of that. It's all about the price features ratio. That is absolutely it. And I think that unfortunately, Basic Fun, no matter what you say, no matter how you feel, they've stumbled out of the gate. Can they recover? I mean, what's it going to take? Massive price cuts to their existing product line? If they come out with a Supreme cabinet in 3 months that is $6.99, who the hell is going to want that? It's $6.99. And what's it going to be? It will. Are you going to be, if you're not going to pay $5.99 for a 2-player version of a WrestleFest that doesn't have the correct ROM, are you going to pay $100 more for a 4-player version of that same cabinet with the incorrect game, but it's got 2 more sticks? I don't think so. So failure, while maybe right now isn't a reality, I think failure for Basic Fun is on the horizon. Okay, guys, we got the last topic coming right up. Remember to vote in the poll. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Super chats, you can still do them. You can still drop them. But if not, we're going to be wrapping this thing up here in about 10 minutes. Last topic of the night, guys. I wish I would have saved a little more time because I got more to say about this. We might go a little bit long. We're talking about Street Fighter 2. The saga of this cabinet has been well documented by me on this channel. Check out all my community posts. I've kept you up to date on all the pricing of this cabinet, a cabinet that has a very special place in my heart. I bought 2 of these. I converted them both into different games, and I had a absolute ton of fun. Both of them have found new homes, better homes, people that really appreciate the cabinets and the games that I put in them, and I'm happy they found their home. This is just like an incredible piece. I really wish I still had one. I mean, I really do, man. I'm kicking myself for not keeping one either in the box or just somewhere, because it's a cool, it's almost a deep cut in a super duper popular recognizable brand. The deep cut, it doesn't come in the form of the game. It comes in the form of the form factor, which is the Dynamo HS5. And the fact that they took the time to mimic that shape is freaking cool. It's so cool. A great little playable representation of a Dynamo HS5 with Street Fighter in it. And I wish that this thing would have had a longer life. I wish it was more available. I wish it didn't have the soap opera-like ending to its run. But unfortunately, it has. So right now, I'm showing you the only listing that I can see, which is the eBay listing, Spreetail's eBay listing, showing it. The price came down to $700, I guess, before anybody knew it. Then it was gone, and it is absolutely sold out. Now, this thing has gone, like I said, it's gone back and forth. It's gone up and down. Check out my community post. This son of a gun has gone up and down, crazy, and it has been, in my mind, totally wrong. The way the pricing has gone up and down on this thing has been absolutely sinful. It's just been a disgrace. It's been, for me, it's been shameful to watch this company, Spreetail, go after the few remaining people that wanted this cabinet and charging astronomical prices. So bear in mind, this is a $500 cabinet. It's a standard deluxe. It's a great cabinet. It's on par with Mortal Kombat Deluxe and Pac-Man Deluxe and Miss Pac-Man Deluxe and even Gold T Deluxe, all $499 cabinets. Earlier this week, they were asking on Amazon $1,200 for this. $1,200 for this cab. Absolutely insane. And I feel really, really, really bad for the people that paid that price, because they felt desperate and they felt like this thing was never coming back, and they felt like it was all over and this is limited stock and all that. I feel really, really bad for those people, because I see how cool this cabinet is. For people just getting into the hobby, or maybe they've only been around for 6 months, they don't know what all has been going on. and they jump in and they say, "Oh my God, I love Street Fighter. I would love to have that, but why is it so expensive?" Well, it's because you have a scalper. Basically, you have a retailer who they don't have moral business practices, and they just absolutely want to take you for every penny that you have. And the reason why I say this is not just because of the $1,200 price tag, but the retailer, the purchaser for Spreetail, has a YouTube channel, and on their show, they've done it. I think at least once. I heard they've done it twice. During the live stream, they drop it all the way down to $3.99 to get you to watch the show that directly benefits them. And I think it's absolutely just disgraceful. I mean, it's just, I'll say it, it's wrong. Now, I reached out to Arcade1up, and I went back and forth several emails trying to get them to commit to a MSRP, a manufacturer's suggested retail price. And they would not commit to a price to me. So the last thing I left with Arcade1up is that, hey, listen, okay, I get it, fine. You have one company that bought all these Spreetail, and you don't necessarily have a price. And I wasn't asking for what they sold to Spreetail for. That's not any of my business. That's not appropriate to ask. But I was asking what they would suggest the retail price would be, knowing that every other cabinet they have on their website is $499. And they used to say $499 for the Street Fighter 2 on their website. They used to say that. You could go to the website, the Arcade1up website, and it would list Street Fighter 2 Deluxe, and it would say $499, just like all their other Deluxes. And then they removed the price tag. And I couldn't get them to commit to an MSRP. So what is the consumer supposed to do? You are at the whim of the retailer. You are 100% at their, you have no point of reference. At the time that I was communicating with Arcade1up, you're just screwed, guys. Arcade1up wouldn't commit to a price. So you had no reference. So as a consumer, you were absolutely screwed, and you were at the absolute mercy of Spreetail that was willing to charge you up to $1,200 for this cabinet. And it's a damn shame. What really drives the nail in the coffin, I'm telling you, this thing is sold out. Yeah, I think it's really sold out. I don't think it's a retailer thing. If you go to their website right now, sadly, it's no longer listed as an option. It's no longer listed as one of the cabinets that they've ever sold. You have a lot of other good $499 cabs on there. Mortal Kombat is still a great cabinet. You can find it everywhere. So if you want that one, check it out, $499. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Golden Tee, all $499. Stay away from the Slim Katie. The NBA Jam Slim Katie is a piece of garbage. Don't bother with that. But the other four that I listed are good cabs. And definitely the pinnacle of what Arcade1up had achieved. They had that price to feature ratio figured out. At $499, you got everything. I mean, now some people are going to complain and say this or say that, but honestly, I had a couple Mortal Kombat Deluxes also. Turn those into different cabs. I put a Killer Instinct PCB in a Mortal Kombat Deluxe, and it's a great cab. It's a great cab. $499, that meant that you could find it for $450, right? So if it's a $500 cab, you could all the time. They just had Black Friday sales, $50 off. So at $450, it was a really cool cab, solid cab. It had the standard Arcade1up buttons and controls. I get that. Deck protectors kind of went away, but they have a very thick sort of vinyl overlay that eliminates the need for that, I think, in most cases. Lit marquees, molded coin doors, the great foundation for some really cool mods, some really cool stuff. And we lost it. It was taken away from us too early. Is that because of, Arcade1up being sold to Basic Fun? Is that for bankruptcy? Is that for loss of licenses? All these things are possible. I don't really know. But I think that it's definitely the end of an era. The $500 price tag, the $500 cab that kind of had it all figured out. This, Mortal Kombat, Pac-Man, I'll throw Golden Tee in there because I think that's a solid cab. At $499 was, I think, the pinnacle. I think that was the best that Arcade1up did, and maybe the best that Home Arcade will ever see again, because remember the last topic we talked about, we're getting way less for way more $100 more is nothing to sneeze at. It's really not. And it's a damn shame. It is an absolute damn shame. But yes, there is SpongeBob. I forgot. You're right. You are right. How dare I? Exactly. There's other cool cabinets on there, but they're more than $500. I didn't want to talk about them. Yes, MSRP. Manufacturer's scalpers retail price equals Spreetail. Yeah, it's just in my opinion, it's shameful. But they hold all the cards, and that's fine. Dollars are dollars. If you want to say, I don't give a damn about you, I just want to take all your money, I'm fine with that. Be honest about it. Don't pretend like you're my buddy and you care about me, because that's obviously not the case. You want to take every penny I have. You do not care. And that's fine. Some of that is just capitalism, and I get it. It's up to the consumer to be smart and say, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'd hate to see a third run of Arcade1up Arcade Star Wars, because the Spreetail scalpers would then probably, yeah. I mean, Spreetail might buy it and charge you $2,000. Yeah. Hopefully, I think if it was that big of a deal, Arcade1up would sell like to Walmart and Best Buy, and you could have a better shot at that. But unfortunately, I think that some of the rumors may be true. I don't know that Arcade1up they don't have much longer. I don't think. I just don't think that I think they're kind of done. I think they've used up almost all of what they had in the tank, and it's damn shame, and it's damn sad. It's damn sad, very sad. Cheers. $5. Thank you so much, Jason. Really appreciate you, buddy. And here you go. Street Fighter 2 in stock at my house. Smart man. Absolutely. Hold on to it. Stay golden, Pony Boy. They didn't show Galaga Deluxe. That's a good cab. It's $450 at Walmart. Yeah, I apologize. It wasn't on the list, but yeah, if it's still out there, Galaga Deluxe is a great one. Those Street Fighter 2, the Street Fighter cabs are gone. I have 2 in the box. I bought them when Spreetail knocked them down to $399. I'm going to mod one of them. Absolutely. I'd preserve one of them, and I would mod one. I would swap another Arcade1up PCB in them. I did 2. I transferred my Alien versus Predator mod into one, and then I took the guts of the X-Men 97, I think, and put in there. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, I made a Marvel versus Capcom 2 cabinet, and that was pretty cool. No, it wasn't an X-Men 97 cab. It was just the original X-Men, or not the X-Men, the original Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. I actually took that and modded it. That's right. I did that. I had that original PCB and put it in the Street Fighter 2. And that was really cool. That was really fun. I still have the X-Men 97 cab, because I took that PCB out and I put in an X-Men 4-player Konami game in that cabinet in the X-Men 97. So it's all very confusing. It's tough to keep track of it all. I still have that PCB. What should I do with it, guys? Maybe that's a show for another time. What is a good price for a used Blitz? So I would, if it's in perfect condition, I'd hit them. I mean, 400 is probably the top I'd pay for it, but 300 is really fair. It's been out for a while. The only thing about that is that you're going to have those joysticks that you're not going to be able to replace. You can't just put a Sanwa in there. You can't just swap those out. It's got that Hall effect sensor on it. So that's going to be kind of tough, to find a replacement part for that. So buyer beware. Check those out. Check all 4 players out and make sure they're good. If the cabinet's in good shape, I think $300 is probably a fair price. Maybe 400, but I would stick to 300 or less. Hit them for that too. $2. Oh my God, that's horrible. That's very horrible. Yeah, at least use some lube. All the Vault series cabs from Arcade1up were good. I wish they kept them. I wish they did. I wish they kept the Vault series going. They could have absolutely kept that going. They could have done more with that. They could have reintroduced old cabinets. They could have basically taken an old cab and put a sticker on it, call it a Vault, and given it a second life. I would have loved to seen a second run of some of the 4-player cabs. It just didn't happen, and it's kind of sad. So everybody, let's take one last drink and say goodbye to one of the greatest cabinets ever made by Arcade1up, the Street Fighter 2 Deluxe. Would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Unfortunately, it is that time. We got to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Members, stay right here. You're going to be automatically redirected to the members-only after show where we talk about all kind of stuff. We use profanity. It's great. And we have, obviously, another drink. But before we go, we got to talk about the poll question, guys. Jump over there real quick. Let's go ahead and click on that. If I can get the mouse to cooperate with me. There you go. So the question, again, get your votes in real quick. I'll give you one more chance, a couple more seconds. The question was, how would you grade the Basic Fun Arcade Classics product launch? A, expectations exceeded. C, 50% bad, 50% good. Give it an F for no expectations were met. Or a number 4, I don't care. I'm not interested. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She has ended. Let's go ahead and clip it because we got to share it later on. Boom. Okay, so coming in fourth place, no surprise, is the grade of A. Only 4% of you said that. 132 votes, by the way. A, expectations were exceeded. Coming in the number 3 spot was an F. No expectations were met. That's 23%. That's not an insignificant number. So who made the top? What's the best one? Number 1 spot, was it I don't care or a C? Well, it's actually a C. 39% of you said 50% bad, 50% good, 39% C, 34% I don't care, I have no interest, and 24% said none of the expectations were met. So only 4% of this audience thinks that this cab has exceeded their expectations. That's it. You know, the majority of you, the vast majority, 40% almost, said it was 50% bad, 50% good. Have they failed? Is it all over? Maybe not yet, but the end could be coming very soon. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Have a great day. Have a great week. And I will see all of you right back here next time. Peace.